1984 was written by George Orwell in 1949. It tells the story of a man named Winston, confined in a world of dystopia where a corrupt government, as well as the thought police, monitor and control a majority of the population's movements and actions, clearly relating to the rubric section in which it states that power and authority can be represented in text through a variety of ways, including how text may explore the positive and negative uses of power, and how this involves people being influenced in both positive and negative ways. A related text of 1984 is a comparatively modern story written by J.K. Rowling, titled Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. In 1984, positive and negative uses of power are clearly displayed throughout the entirety of the text, although this usually ends up in the power and authority influencing negatively on the people that the power is exerted on. This is shown in Schmoop.com's analysis of 1984's plot, where Winston is being kept in the Ministry of Love, after being caught by the thought police, after Julia, who is his secret lover, and himself had just made love and were talking about it in bed. There is no darkness in the Ministry of Love, nowhere to escape to. He meets another group of prisoners who fear being sent to the mysterious Room 101, and even after he undergoes a number of torturous interrogations by O'Brien, the main antagonist in the novel, who is also an agent of the thought police, he still wonders what goes on in this place they call Room 101. The notion of positive and negative uses of power is then continued to be explored by the author of the article, found on Schmoop.com, as he analyzes the denouement in the storyline of 1984, where Winston finds himself in Room 101, where people are confronted with their worst fears. He is faced with a cage full of vicious rats, ready to eat him alive, and because of this, his biggest fears, he betrays Julia, evidently showing that negative uses of power usually result in people being negatively influenced. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, written by J.K. Rowling, presents a significant amount of links to the rubric concept of negative uses of power and authority, and how this impacts on people, as well as an uncanny amount of plot similarities. In fact, it could be very likely that J.K. Rowling allowed George Orwell to influence her in her writing. In Rowling's story, Harry, the main character, is expelled from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry for using magic outside of his school while underage, while trying to save his muggle, non-magic cousin, Dudley, from Dementors, which are the law enforcers of the Ministry of Magic, much like the Thought Police in 1984. He is then rescued from his wild aunt and uncle by a group of wizards called the Order of the Phoenix, who tell him that the Ministry of Magic is trying to play down the return of the main antagonist in the Harry Potter series, Lord Voldemort. Harry returns to school to find that everyone apart from a select few believes that the Ministry of Magic is correct and Voldemort is not actually returning, thus turning a large amount of Harry's friends and peers against him, thinking that he has gone mad. The playing down of Voldemort's return is the cause of Harry's uncle's death, yet another negative influence due to the negative influence of power. Negative uses of power. Later in the book, Harry finds that the Dementors had been sent by the Ministry of Magic to force Harry to use magic illicitly, automatically expelling him from his school, making sure that he did not come back to spread the word that Voldemort was in fact alive and returning to mount an attack on all of the wizard world, therefore negatively influencing through the negative uses of power. This related text and critical analysis of 1984 very clearly show the positive and negative uses of power and authority, and how this influences people in positive and negative ways. Although more often than not, a negative use of power usually correlates with a negative influence on a person. Thank you.